Hello, my name is Katie, and I'm here to do a book haul. Yes, that's right, another book haul. These are coming fast and furious these days. So first, I think I'm just going to start with books that I got either on ebook or audiobook or anything that I don't have a physical copy of, because I always forget to mention those because I don't have them here. So I've written them all down, and we're just going to talk. We're just going to talk about those really quick, and then we'll get into some of the others that I have physically. First things first, I got To Be Taught If Fortunate by Becky Chambers. I don't know much about this. I know that Becky Chambers is a beloved writer of diverse science fiction. I have read, oh my gosh, I can't remember the title. Anyway, it's that series that she's super famous for. I read the first one, that book. And I liked it, but I never continued with it. That's one that I'm going to have to read again and see if I care enough to continue with the series. But I thought maybe like a short story novella type book from her would be good to just see if I'm even interested in rereading that one. Then I got The Test by Sylvain Neuvel. This is another short story, and it follows an Iranian man, and he is taking the British citizenship test, and things go horribly wrong. Very interesting book. I do understand why it has kind of mediocre Goodreads ratings, but I found the discussions about what does a British person look like to be very fascinating, and I think completely applicable also to Americans, probably even Canadians. Yeah, I just thought it was a really interesting conversation, and I enjoyed my experience a lot. I grabbed War and Peace by Leo Tolstoy. I doubt highly if I'll ever get to this, but it was like $3, so I own it now. I also got The Perfect Theory, A Century of Geniuses and the Battle Over General Relativity by Pedro G. Ferreira. This was actually really good. I finished this not that long ago. It's kind of like a who's who of physicists in the 20th century, which I'm interested in. I know not everybody is, but I liked it. I also picked up The Edge of the World, A Cultural History of the North Sea and the Transformation of Europe by Michael Pye. All I know about this is the title. I thought it sounded cool. It was like $3, so I grabbed it. I also got Iran Rising, The Survival and Future of the Islamic Republic by Amin Saikal. This is something I grabbed with intent because I realized recently that books about the Middle East is a gap in my reading. So I wanted to try and fill that gap. So if you have any recommendations in that area, please let me know. I also grabbed The Nocturnal Brain, Nightmares, Neuroscience, and the Secret World of Sleep by Leschziner. This I finished recently as well. It wasn't bad. The anecdotes were very interesting most of the time. The information was interesting. It was just not a book that I felt myself compelled to come back to a lot. I also grabbed Stalin's Daughter, The Extraordinary and Tumultuous Life of Svetlana oh jeez, you can see the title. By Rosemary Sullivan. Again, this one just sounds interesting, so I grabbed it. I also got The Family, 3 Journeys into the Heart of the 20th Century by David Laskin. This one, I don't remember why I picked it up. I just remember thinking that the synopsis sounded interesting. So I'll have to get back to you on that one. And then finally, I got The History of the Vikings, Norse Sagas, Medieval Marauders, and Far-Flung Settlements by Christopher R. Fee. Again, know nothing. It was cheap. The title sounded interesting. So for the physical books, I think I'm going to start with the middle grade and then the YA that I have, and then we'll go from there. So middle grade, I have The In-Between by Rebecca K.S. Ansari. This seems to be a story about a young boy whose father leaves the family and he's going through some stuff, and then he, with his sister and a girl next door, they decide to become detectives and solve this secret that exists within this town that they live in, or something along those lines. It sounds cute. I'm interested in reading it. Then I got Cinders and Sparrows by Stefan Bachmann. This feels almost like a coming-of-age story, but in a more gothic type setting, if that's possible for middle grade. I'm not sure. it says on the back, a spellbinding coming-of-age story. The halls of Blackbird Castle may be dark and haunted, but the characters who frequent it are warm and lively. Readers will fly through the pages. I think that sounds cute. I'm really, really interested in getting to this quite soon. And then I have Howl's Moving Castle by Diana Wynne Jones. I've seen the movie, but never read the book, so I figured I'd give it a go. This book my sister gave me for my birthday. It is Daughter of Sparta by Claire M. Andrews. This is kind of like Greek myth retelling in the vein of Rick Riordan, is what it seems to me. We follow Daphne, and she has to rescue something from Mount Olympus for Artemis or something along those lines to save her brother's life. And yeah, I'm pretty excited about this. Then I have Witches Steeped in Gold by Ciannon Smart. I really don't know how to pronounce this author's name. This I'm very excited about. I should be getting to this quite soon. It is a revenge story based on Jamaican folklore or something along those lines. So that sounds amazing. I have Legendborn by Tracy Deon. This is set, it's fantasy but set in our world. There's just like magic, and we're following 16-year-old Bree, and her mother dies and she gets accepted to this residential program at UNC Chapel Hill, and yeah, she discovers magic exists in this world while she's there. Should be pretty interesting, I hope. And then I grabbed these Violent Delights by Chloe Gong. This is set in 1920 Shanghai, and it's a Romeo and Juliet retelling. And that sounds pretty cool to me. I did hear a couple of like mixed reviews on this, so we'll see, but I'm still interested in reading it. Okay, now we'll go to the adult fiction that I have. First is Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid. So far, I've liked everything I've read by Taylor Jenkins Reid, but the other two books, The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo and Daisy Jones and the Six, were both more historical fiction, whereas this is just contemporary. But it takes place at this end of summer party that this family has every year, and I believe there's like secrets revealed or something along those lines. Next I grabbed Madam by Phoebe Wynne. This takes place at a boarding school in the Scottish Highlands. This school's been around for about 150 years, and our main character Rose has recently gotten a job there teaching classics. It's gothic. I don't want to know anything else about the plot, I just want to experience it. Then I grabbed The Beautiful Ones by Sylvain Moreno-Garcia. Sylvain Moreno-Garcia is another author that I enjoy greatly. This follows a woman who is trying to become a part of this socialite group. However, she has the power of telekinesis, and something goes disastrously wrong when she is like auditioning or whatever it is for entrance into this group. I also got 1,000 Ships by Natalie Haynes. This is a retelling of the Trojan War from the female point of view, I guess. This has been a very popular theme recently, but I'm on board for it because I've enjoyed all the ones I've read. I got Half Sick of Shadows by Laura Sebastian. I'm not sure actually if this is adult or YA. I probably should have checked on that. But it's a retelling of Arthurian legend from Elaine's point of view. So I'm pretty interested. Laura Sebastian wrote the Ash Princess trilogy, which I was just mediocre about. So hopefully I'll like this one better. And then finally I got The Maidens by Alex Michaelitis. I hated this. I just finished it yesterday, and you know what? It'll be in my wrap-up. The wrap-up should be going up before this video, so if you saw that, you'll know why I don't like this book. But there's a lot of nonfiction here, and I'm not totally sure how to sort it out, so we're just gonna go. We're just gonna go. There's not really much rhyme or reason here. I got the physics book. Who is this by? I don't know. It's one of the DK books. My mom got me this for my birthday. Thank you, Mommy. Anyway, I love these types of books just for a little extra assistance in understanding complicated topics. The pictures are usually great. The explanations are fairly simplified, which is good if you only have a tenuous grasp on the subject, which is all I have. So I'm pretty excited about this. I have Humble Pie, A Comedy of Math Errors by Matt Parker. Matt Parker is associated with the YouTube channel called Numberphile. They do a lot of stuff about maths, formulas, all that. I find it to be absolutely fascinating, and I will leave it linked in the description box next to this book if you are curious to go check it out. Not everybody's cup of tea, but it's mine. I also got The Man Who Solved the Market, How Jim Simons Launched the Comp Revolution by Gregory Zuckerman. I dabble in the stock market. My brother is very into it. We talk about it frequently. And this has a lot to do with formulas for interpreting and understanding what is going on in stock market charts. Very interested in this one. And I got The Math of Life and Death, 7 Mathematical Principles That Shape Our Lives by Kit Yates. I don't know. This is one of those titles where you're either going to read it and be like, yeah, that sounds interesting. Or you're going to read it and be like, why would I ever want to pick that up? I am in the, yes, that sounds interesting camp. Okay, let's go to something a little more fun before we get back into the hard science stuff. I have Lemon, A Global History by Toby Sonneman. I got this from the Read It and Eat subscription box that is created by Bookmarks and Breadsticks. I will link that in the description box as well. This was in the spring box with the theme, which the theme was lemons. This looks really cute. It looks pretty short. I hope I'll get to this soon. And then in the summer Read It and Eat box, I got Sweet Spot, An Ice Cream Binge Across America by Amy Edinger. This sounds like something I would want to do, so I'm hoping I get a lot of enjoyment out of this as well. I recently picked up The Raven Master, My Life with the Ravens at the Tower of London by Christopher Scaife. It says, Yeoman Warder of Her Majesty's Royal Palace and Fortress, the Tower of London. Not sure exactly what I'm getting into here, but it sounds like it might be a unique type of experience, so I'm here for it. Next I grabbed Hidden Valley Road, Inside the Mind of an American Family by Robert Kolker. This is about a family, I believe they have like 12 children, and then like 6 of them end up being schizophrenic. Very interesting phenomenon, because that's not usual. So I'll be interested to see how far they dive into like the genetics of the situation. I also got Say Nothing, A True Story of Murder and Memory in Northern Ireland by Patrick Radden Keefe. I have heard phenomenal things about this book, and I am very interested to get started. Diving back into some science, I have Helgoland, Making Sense of the Quantum Revolution by Carlo Rovelli. I adore Carlo Rovelli. Everything he writes I have found to be fascinating and accessible, which is key. I also grabbed The Codebreaker, Jennifer Doudna, Gene Editing and the Future of the Human Race by Walter Isaacson. I have a couple other books by Walter Isaacson. I find him to be extremely thorough. This I think is awesome because Jennifer Doudna had a huge role in the creation of gene editing. And I feel like she just doesn't get enough credit for what she did there, so I'm very happy that there's a book about this. I grabbed Cosmic Queries, Star Talk's Guide to Who We Are, How We Got Here, and Where We're Going by Neil deGrasse Tyson with James Trefil? I'm not sure. Anyway, there's a lot of pictures in this. I like Cosmic Queries on Star Talk, the YouTube channel, so hopefully I will get a lot of enjoyment out of this. Alright, the last science book, Einstein's Fridge, How the Difference Between Hot and Cold Explains the Universe by Paul Fenn. I picked this up because I want to know how the difference between hot and cold explains the universe. Now on to maybe, well, no, not less heavy topics, just different heavy topics. I have Mediocre, The Dangerous Legacy of White Male America by Ijoma Alua. I think I'm saying that right. This is one where I've heard her say her name several times because I wanted to make sure I was saying it correctly, but I still feel like my tongue is tripping up over the syllables, but I am trying. Highly recommended author for me, so I wanted to pick up something and just experience it for myself. I also grabbed Promised Land by Barack Obama. The only question here is why it took me so long to pick this up. But yeah, if you don't know somehow, this is part 1 of his autobiography about his time in the White House. I also grabbed Catherine the Great, Portrait of a Woman by Robert K. Massey. Everything I've heard about this has been phenomenal. I am so keen to get started on this. I think I'm actually starting it today is the plan. So fingers crossed that I love it as much as everybody else does. And then the final book, another one that I am very excited for. The Woman They Could Not Silence, One Woman, Her Incredible Fight for Freedom, and the Men Who Tried to Make Her Disappear by Kate Moore. Kate Moore is the author of The Radium Girls, which is a book that I adored. It pissed me off and broke my heart. And I'm expecting this to do exactly the same thing. So that's my book haul. I think there's like 40-something books there. Yeah. Anyway, let me know in the comments all your thoughts on all these books, if you've read them, if you want to read them, all the things. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you soon. Bye.